I have the same level of respect for streamers as I do for my own body, which is just none at all. I don't want to get too deep into the fact that I think live streaming as a whole is a terrible medium, and that almost everybody who does it is not entertaining or funny and heavily relies on other people's either video games or videos to entertain their audience, but that is what I think for the most part. And in the very rare occasion that a live stream happens to be interesting, it's mainly due to the fact that the concept itself is so entertaining, and or they tell one funny joke for 10 hours of blank silence staring at the screen. However, the worst of the worst streamers by a long shot in my view is the political streamer. I could not fathom or imagine sitting in a group text chat shooting messages at some guy who honestly does not care about me in the hopes that he would read and respond. But then to add a layer of shitcake on top of that, that person that you're hoping can read and respond to you will then lecture you on the fact that your opinion's wrong and you should listen to them. Left, right, up, down, or if you follow the political party of anarchy like me, where we don't really have a political stance besides wearing Joker makeup in front of elementary schools, much to the chagrin of those parents. I don't care. It's all boring, it's all irritating, and I don't want to hear you talk. I mean, honestly, what kind of psychopath finds entertainment in listening to some white, skinny boy lecture them about a certain thing or topic? Who indeed? But like my grandmother used to say, there's gotta be one king on top of the oily pile. And the king of white soy boy liberalism is not in fact Destiny, but a man who goes by the name of Vaush. I don't watch political streams, so the first time I was ever made aware of Vaush and what he does, where a clip of him went quite off the charts.
You can see this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
to.
What you just saw was a grown man making an oopsie tootsie. And that oopsie tootsie was in fact Vaush making a bit of a booba wooba. Because whilst in the middle of streaming, Vaush accidentally opened up his porn folder. I'm not here to judge. That's a lie. That's literally all I'm doing. But having a porn folder in the year 2024 is absolute madness. I mean, having a porn folder even 10 years ago would have been madness. We've had access to high-speed internet for ages. The days of LimeWire and going to your public library in Joker makeup and busting one out for anarchy is long behind us. So to me, having explicit photos saved on your desktop is at worst porn addiction, and at best a very particular case of neurodivergency. This may just be a me thing, but I just use porn as a utility because I respect women that much. After I type in the address, I click on the first thing that pops up, close my eyes, and rub one out while going icky, 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 icky. Sometimes if I'm feeling really respectful, I'll watch gay porn, so I can watch a man dominating another man to defeat the patriarchy. And believe me, I stare with my eyes wide open at that. Back to the subject at hand, although it's very embarrassing, it's not earth-shattering. And at worst, it's a few light jabs towards Vaush's way. I mean, if Pyrocynical can survive the mess that he put himself through.
Alright, nice.
Oh, H2O.
There was furry inflation in the recent screenshots? No, there wasn't. Oh,
and openly admitting that he enjoys furries and a sexual connotation, I'm sure Vaush will just be fine. But this is the internet, and people aren't quick to forgive people they don't like. Hell, they're not even quick to forgive people they do like. An internet sleuth quickly went to work in reverse image searching whatever he had in his folder. And the first most apparent thing to pop up was Vaush really likes horsecock. Not in like a funny, joking way, but like in a sexual manner way. Because a lot of the images in the folder focus around that. This was further solidified when people found out, via sleuthing on his Discord servers, that he talks about horse penis a lot, to the point where it's actually obscene.
When I say horsecock, I mean horsecock. Because people, and this is one of those, it's one of those, everyone shirks now, but if a human, had a horse penis.
Which a YouTuber by the name of Spurg Archive then took all of those messages, put them in a sexy little compilation for us to enjoy, with the background music of Old Town Road blasting away. Now I, of course, can't play the copyrighted song, but I am permitted to give you my own version of it. Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road, and I'm gonna ride him till I can't no more. I got horses in my ass, the horses attached. Gonna make my ass look black, only wearing my boots. I'm gonna make that goddamn horse splooge. Now, is it insanely odd and a little bit disturbing that he has such an obsession with throbbing horses? I mean, a little bit. And depending on your morals, maybe that was enough to send you over the edge and instantly dislike the guy. I mean, for me personally, like I said, I'm an anarchist. I don't believe in any of the traditional rules that some of you may follow. I put a gun to my own head when I'm rubbing robbing the bank. You better give me all the money or I'm gonna kill myself. But it's not necessarily illegal. The next part, though, should be very much illegal and is in some countries, even though it should be globally. Because after some more reverse image searching, it was discovered that Vaush also had a folder dedicated, or rather an image section dedicated to lolicon. Lolicon, for those of you who are unaware, is Japanese, and me saying that statement is probably enough for you to say, oh, okay, so it's disgusting. Yeah, but I feel like I should probably be a little bit more specific for your own benefit, so you know exactly why I'm saying he's such a vile, disgusting human. Lolicon is depictions of younger girls who physically appear at the age of 13 or younger, hand-drawn in, let's say, some more adult scenarios. It's basically DUI. And I feel pretty confident in saying that anybody who consumes, deals, or draws the stuff is quite sick in the head. Although Vaush initially did deny that this was lolly, instead claiming that it was hand-drawn goblin porn.
So he argues, well, okay, look, I got caught with lolly porn on my computer, but in my defense, I thought it was goblins.
The other one is like a threesome with 2 chicks and a guy. And in retrospect, looking at it, knowing now that that artist is a lolicon, yeah, I can see it. When I looked at it, I think the vibe that I got was like short stack, thick kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the way like goblins get drawn in porn. You'll have to entertain me for a moment on this presumed shared knowledge of how goblins get drawn in pornography. But you know how they're all like thick short stacks, right?
But to me, that defense doesn't actually really work, because not only did people instantly call bull on that because they reverse searched the images themselves, but also if it was in fact goblin, why would you be so quick to end your stream like that? Unless you were purposely trying to hide something maybe a little bit illegal, or at the very least dodgy. Not to mention the fact the man has literally been quoted multiple times defending pedophiles and lolicon porn in general.
Like zoophile, like drawn stuff, it should be 100% legal. In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Actual child pornography
attached to them. I assign this to literally everything. I don't even think that like owning child is a moral, because it also...
This is not me putting words in his mouth. This is a thing he has said. Now, for Vaush's parts in all of this, all of it apparently requires context, or at least that's what he's saying it is. All of those clips that I just showed you was apparently out of context according to him, which just to me seems a little bit unlikely. There's only so many times I can say, oh, let's go bomb a children's hospital through multiple different streams on multiple different days, and somehow having all of those contexts not being understood, but you go, King. Furthermore, he believes so deeply in the fact that all of these things he said were out of context that he dropped an hour and 30-minute video. And I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you guys, hands in the air, I'm not f***ing watching that. I don't care if I'm judging somebody without getting their side of the story. It's an hour and 30 minutes of fucking yapping. A pearl of wisdom that I've learned over the years is even if you sit on the toilet for a really long time, that doesn't mean the shit's gonna be easier to take. Cut it up a little bit, bro. That is ludicrous. Also, I'm not being funny or anything, guys, and I know I am judging him without seeing his side of things, but you can't be caught on tape that many times defending pedophilia without at least being an associate pedophile yourself. You know how you can't join the Italian mob fully if they can't trace your blood all the way back to the homeland of Italy, and therefore you have to be a criminal associate, which means you are technically a part of the gang, but not fully. At the very least, that's what Vaush is. Vaush, baby, I've heard some troubling things. What do you mean, boss? Let's just say a little birdie told me that you may have said some things on a live stream about this thing of ours. No, honest, boss, I didn't. I'm sorry, Vaush, baby, but you're hereby excommunicated from the family. We left you a little present underneath your bed as a reminder to keep quiet. Vaush wakes up the next morning and instead of a horse head, it's a giant horse cock. Ooh, thank you, boss. Look, while I'm being transparent, I may as well also transparently say I've got a controversial take on this matter. Lolicon is disgusting and bad. I'm not even interested in engaging in conversation with people or discussing it. It's disgusting. It's wrong. It's not a quote-unquote victimless crime. It's not quote-unquote art. It is a vehicle to enable abuse on innocence. And I think also as a controversial take, I'm sorry, anybody who's willing to engage in that vehicle of abuse should at the very least seek therapy, because there is something wrong with your brain if that's what you're interested in, and at the very worst be castrated and shot in the back of the head. I know the most flamboyant hot take over it is that we should shoot shoot them all and kill them. But although a very primal part of me wants that to be the answer every single time, I also recognize that the human brain is complex, and you should probably view pedophilia as an illness that can be cured and treated, in the same way that people who are addicted to alcohol and heroin are. Do not misinterpret me, I am saying this clear as day. Those people who have these thoughts and urges, who are willing to engage in therapy and or correct their mind to the correct way of thinking, should be applauded. Not only to admit that they've got this absolutely disgusting bug in their brain, but they're willing to cure it and better themselves for it to make sure that it never harms an innocent as a result. But it takes especially vile human beings not to recognize that it is an illness. It is a cancer, it is a disease that needs to be stomped out and purified. And Vaush is one of those sick cretins who argues in favor of it and all the normalization of it. And that is truly why I think he is a vile human being. Not because I don't like his political stances, because I don't know what they are. Not even because I don't like his personality, because there is no personality. He's about as interesting as wet cardboard. I think he's the scum at the bottom of my boot because at one point, or rather at any point in his life, he tried to normalize putting his pleasure and or sick demented people's pleasures above the needs or wants of the innocent, who have no wish to partake in that pleasure. The only context I know you want to do as the viewer is legally subscribe. Thanks as always, my homies. I'll see you later. Bye bye.